Roombas go to heaven. Blackberries go to hell.
I'm so glad you added berry to that.
Zunes.
Greetings, fellow stargazers.
Yep, I was gonna say that.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I don't want to anymore.
Over.
No, really, I don't want to say it anymore.
I'm sorry.
No.
I wasn't sure. I thought this was... I think this is going to be our last one, isn't it?
This is probably it.
Ouch, this is how it ends. We've been actually at each other's throats for months now.
It's been bad.
It's been really bad.
Like, real bad.
Do you think if we keep this going, you can get on YouTube drama alert and boost the views?
Yeah.
Nobody knows this, but these two guys just fight on YouTube.
Hey, Philip DeFranco. I hate this guy. Oh, okay.
Actually, he actually has a reason when he shares that stuff, because he goes deeper into, like, what some of that drama stuff could mean legally for creators and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he doesn't leave it at, like, a feud, and he's like, hey, look at this thing, views, you know? He's always got very good depth to what he talks about. Okay, so I just played Nier Automata.
Okay.
And there are a lot of interesting, like, robotics ethical questions brought up in it. Like, at what point do robots start to have feeling and critical thought and different things that give them humanity
and personhood too?
Yes, yeah. And so then I kind of brought this up to some friends, and we had the talk about, like, well, at what point, does that become where they are just a living thing, or at what point do they become almost human, and at what point are they awarded a soul, or otherwise, is there any moral infraction for them doing anything bad on the earth if they don't have a soul, because then there's no eternal consequence.
Have you read, I doubt you have, the actual screenplay to The Phantom Menace?
No.
It's the first screenplay I read to kind of teach, because somebody gave it to me for Christmas, a family member, and I finally was like, oh, there's a screenplay, I should read this. Yeah. Because I wanted to learn how to write screenplays. Sure. And so I read it to learn format, but there's things that were in the screenplay that never made, I don't think, any cut of the movie, or even filmed. And there's some stuff of, like, the droids talking to each other that is, like, one droid kind of said, there's one line early on in the movie that says, what do you think of this? And the droid says, I'm not paid or programmed to think. And, like, it was like, whoa. Yeah. George was trying to do some interesting things with the droids at first here. Right? Like, he was going down that road. And then there's a couple moments like that.
Slapstick.
And then it became slapstick humor. Yeah. But, anyway, there's this interesting, like, depth. Yeah. So it's kind of addressing that.
And I like that. It's weird to think about it, because we're almost at that point in reality, where there could be a point where they've learned enough and can teach themselves enough. Like Google's Daydream AI has, like, taught itself how to have mobility and things like that, where, sure, that's not all that humans do, but it is a huge step, in doing what we do. So, let's just... Huge hypothetical. Okay. I mean, a hypothetical that's hypothetical. We're going to go deep, deep, deep into this. Let's say robots are able, androids, whatever they are, get to a point where they are so human that God is like, at this point, I award you a soul. So based on what you do, you will go to robot heaven or robot hell. Okay. So there has to be some sort of robot Satan. So whoever is the fallen angel.
Voiced by Dan Castellaneta.
Most likely.
Most likely.
So... I wanted to talk about, and we can each bring a couple robots to the table, whether we think some of our favorite cherished robots would go to robot heaven or to robot hell. There doesn't have to be a good reason, because let's be honest, this is ridiculous.
It is. The whole thing is.
But the idea puts you, like, I've never done drugs, but when I think about these things, I feel like I have, and your brain starts doing that, like, whoa. Like, chill out, bro. Yeah. Like, even when you start to think about your own soul, you're like, okay, let's take a step back here.
I wish I had this topic when I was Dilaudid in the hospital for 2 weeks at the pump. Ooh, that would have been, like, crazy.
I would have liked to have gotten on your drip while we had the conversation. Just let me... Okay, so I'm going to let you go first. Okay. Since I brought up the topic, give me one of your favorite cherished robots, and let's talk about why they'll probably go to hell.
Hedonism bot.
He'll probably go to hell.
That's a no-brainer.
Now,
slather me in mayonnaise.
My favorite thing about him, though, is, like, as a robot...
Why would you build a robot that's just eating his thing?
But he's, like, he's so happy. everything he does is so over the top.
He's always eating grapes to who knows
constantly
why.
just feeding himself grapes. He loves to just have orgy parties. Everything he does is awful, but he's just so joyful. It's because he has no remorse. There's no such thing as an STD.
Yeah.
He can't get fatter than he is. When
you listen to commentaries on Futurama, Matt Groening's least favorite robot it's not Hedonism Bot, but I think Hedonism Bot kind of comes from this.
Okay.
It's Fat Robot. He hates Fat Robot.
Okay.
And his reasoning is, who would make a fat robot? He hates them when they made that character. And so that's why they made, I believe that's why they made Hedonism Bot. Let's just take this hatred to the full extent, to the end of its rope. And that's Hedonism Bot, who's a fat robot made purely just to fulfill his own pleasures and idiosyncrasies. Just that's all he's programmed to do.
And there's no implications to a robot doing those things.
And he serves no purpose to humanity.
Yeah. I love the character, but I think he would go to Robot Hell.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I think there's an episode where he is in Robot Hell.
Yeah, I have a feeling that my first one is from Futurama as well, and it's Bender.
Oh, yeah.
And, what's interesting about Bender is he has some moments in Jurassic Park and some other things where he genuinely shows emotion and affection for Fry, where he says, I love you the same way a human loves their dog, to Bender, Fry is his dog,
It's his pet.
Yeah. So, Bender does show emotion as far as a robot can, but the remorse isn't enough to make up for the terrible things he does. He murders so many creatures and things.
He adopted 12 children to try and scam a social security check from them, and then when he realized they were costing him more than he was making, he tried to sell them as food to a Chinese restaurant. And the bedtime stories was his criminal record.
I love Bender, but he would go to Robot Hell.
Oh, yeah.
And it's unfortunate because I feel like the little bits of emotion he had were immediately extinguished. He realized he had them, and he was like, No,
I'm going to ignore this.
Yeah, I'm just going to drink a little bit. But I did love, and this has nothing to do with it, when you would get a 5 o'clock shadow from not drinking.
Rust.
Yeah,
you just get a
so
rust.
Good.
Bender, you're blind, stinking sober.
Okay, what's your number 2?
Gonk Droid. From Star Wars?
Oh, yeah.
Gonk. Gonk.
Now, here's where it gets interesting, because
he has 3 seconds of screen time.
But does
his own action figure.
But does he have a ton of emotion? What is he feeling in that moment?
Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Get me out of here.
I guess he was made with terrible mobility. Whoever created him gave him those the wind up toys,
What is his purpose?
That's a good question.
What is his purpose?
Have you ever looked him up? What does he do?
Oh.
I would say he would go to Robot Purgatory and he would just keep walking like that. Because neither the Robot God or Robot Satan would know what to do with him.
Gonk Droid G&K.
G&K. Isn't that the store where you buy supplements?
We're an industrial automaton knockoff of the successful EG6 power droid, which...
Look at that guy. He's just
boxy droids with 2 or 4 legs that served as mobile batteries. Capable of powering a variety of machinery and vehicles. They were commonly encountered throughout the galaxy due to their versatility.
Heaven.
He's a battery.
Yeah.
He's in heaven.
Right.
He seems to have the same purpose as the robot that passes butter in Rick and Morty. Have you seen that?
Yes. What is my purpose?
You pass butter. Oh, gosh. Welcome to life.
And I would say that Robot Heaven is just outlets everywhere. It's just...
And he contributes to the power grid.
Exactly. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah.
So he goes, old G&K.
Yeah.
Goes straight to Robot Heaven. Okay, my second one, this is interesting. We're on the same path. I had C-3PO.
Okay.
Now, C-3PO, he feels fear. He solves problems, he's got problem solving. He learns. He feels, or he gets irritated.
But we all know he's an atheist.
Well... Does Robot God count in atheism?
Well, no, here's the thing. Here's the problem, though. He then was worshipped, and he allowed it to happen.
That's true.
So he became a god, or tried to become a god.
Yeah, so in that fashion, he cannot go to traditional Robot Heaven.
He's purgatory.
Yeah. They would decide what to do with him later.
Yeah.
And you know what? I bet he got to purgatory, and he is now the person that welcomes others to purgatory and helps them figure out where to go.
And then
because he can
he's
speak
too
their
useful
language.
there.
Yeah,
and
so they won't let him go.
They won't let him go.
Yeah, and GMK took the last spot, so for now. Okay, so 3PO, you can stay in purgatory. You know, you can take your shiny piece. I feel like at that point he would be taken into like his pieces in his backpack for like Chewbacca when he's on Bespin and someone's carrying him around.
Let's be honest, he was really mean to Chewbacca.
Very mean. He's pushing hell. And the whole worship thing. I'm gonna give him purgatory.
Yeah, that's right.
For now, but I'm gonna think about this.
We'll see what happens in The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, because in Force Awakens there wasn't enough to really judge him on anything.
Well, he did interrupt Han and Leia's reunion. Which, come on, dude.
He's dead.
That's a dick move.
That's a dick move.
All right, my last robot. It's a toy.
What toy?
Teddy Ruxpin.
Hell.
That's what I
thought. Because mine was stuck like this.
Hello.
But then every once in a while it would. I would swear, like as a kid, it was in my room, and I would just like look at it and just be like, "Please don't start talking." Then it would. What was the caterpillar's name?
I don't remember.
That it would talk to?
I don't remember.
And both their mouths were just like pincer mouths. Oh my gosh! And they would both just harp at each other. Man,
he's down there in hell, Furby.
Yeah. We just recently got a toy that's called a Talkin' Bubba.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot like Teddy Ruxpin, but I think you might be racist. So he'd go to hell too.
You see the Conan to the Wiki Bear?
No.
It's really funny. They have somebody you ask him questions on Wikipedia, and then it becomes like very racist and dark. And...
Okay, my last one is Marvin, the sad and depressed robot from Hitchhiker's Guide.
Okay.
Now, he ended on a high note. Because even though he knew what was going to happen to him, he tried to be heroic, you know?
In the movie or the books?
In the movie.
Okay. Because in the books, he convinces other robots to commit suicide. Like,
We're going to go movie version.
Okay?
And I would say movie version just because he was sad, depressed, and annoying.
And voiced by the late, great Alan Rickman.
Who I think probably went to Robot Heaven as well. I think Marvin would go to Robot Heaven, but after a while, they'd get so sad.
Would he be sad still up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Because that's what makes him happy, is being sad. Because he was programmed that way. That's why robots as humans don't work, people. So he's up there bumming everybody out, and they're like, why don't you go to purgatory? And he's kind of like, well, power for the cause, you know, and then they just drop him down there, and then C-3PO is there. And
welcome, and he's just annoyed.
Yeah. I want to see those two together. That's a buddy movie I'm in for. Marvin and C-3PO. The sass is unending.
If you read the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book, there's a part where they're in the factory that makes the planets.
Okay.
And they're pinned down by like galactic police, and then suddenly the galactic police like just die. And when they get up out of like the bowels of the factory, there's like the galactic police cruiser, and there's Marvin like, what happened? Well, the computer was keeping the galactic police alive, and I was talking to the computer about my philosophy in life, and it just killed itself. Hearing my philosophy of life, like, works for us. Like that's how we rolled out of that corner.
Yeah.
And also in the book, elevators like are just happy to open for you, and so they sigh.
Yeah. Well, in the movie, the doors sigh too.
Like, yay.
And he's like, oh, every time he just is like, oh my gosh. There's only one thing that proves that robots can never be human. We can read captchas.